Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Eric Feaver, MFPE, represent a whole lot of folks who work in state buildings all over the state. I don't think those in the Department of Revenue or Public Health and Human Services or even the members we represent in probation parole are anxious to have folks, you, with concealed carry permits when you visit their work site. So it's not just about the Capitol building. It's about any public place owned by the state where people work who are not armed. And if they were armed, what is it that you expect should one of you make a mistake? You do, in fact, make mistakes. You know, Mr. Chairman, I don't own a gun, and I need to tell you that right now, because sometimes folks talk about these gun bills as though they're privileged to talk about them because they do own guns and they're opposed to stuff like this. I've never owned a gun, but I have been shot by one. And I spent a good year of my life treating gun wounds. I could tell you what they're all about. And I can well imagine in that affair a few years ago in the Senate gallery, if anybody had pulled out a pistol and started shooting into the gallery, what would you expect then? Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this is a sad bill. Folks from out of state come to Montana and they walk into our state capitol and they think, this is open to the people. Whether I'm from South Carolina or California or Alaska, I can walk into Montana State Capitol and there wasn't a metal detector at the door. And I can peruse the great architecture and art of this building and even can watch you work and not worry about one of you may have a weapon. Then there's the hubris thing. Where in the world is it that legislators would empower themselves with authority that they would not empower other people? I've already announced I don't have a gun. I've never owned a gun. And I'm not going to carry one into this Capitol ever with a concealed permit. But if you were to yourselves say you were authorized to carry weapons into this building, will lobbyists come next to say, well, us too? Because if it's an unsafe place for you, then it must be an unsafe place for lobbyists. Your hubris is overwhelming. You should be embarrassed by that. Finally, members of the committee, I don't know if the purpose of this bill is to actually pass it or one more time challenge the governor's intent to veto it. You know, I don't know that he's going to veto it, but he did last session. You passed the bill last session and he vetoed it for the same reasons that I just gave you, except maybe not the hubris part. He's a very nice man.
Sir, let's stick to the bill.
I am sticking to the bill. It is a very sad
Sir,
commentary.
that is my determination, not yours. Please stick to the bill.
I am sticking to the bill.
You're treading on dangerous ground here.
It is true. We are all on dangerous ground when we deal with gun bills. And so I urge you not to pass this legislation, that I do believe it violates good sense and fair play, and I think it invites circumstances beyond our control, your control. And so I urge you to give a do not pass to a bill. Thank you.
Further